Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service. For the best prices for any kind of USB cable for your Nexus, Samsung, HTC or Sony mobile device, contact USB On The Go. They have free postage Australia-wide. You can find them at usbonthego.com.au. USB On The Go is a proud sponsor of the Aussie Tech Heads podcast.
Welcome, it's episode 352 Aussie Tech Heads, and it is the horse's birthday. Happy birthday to all the horses out there. 1st of August. Happy birthday, Wilbur. On the 1st of August 2013. And yes, episode, what did I say? 352. All right. Now, we're going to get pretty much straight into it because we've had all the ads at the start. And yeah, so how good are we? We're getting professional now. All right, so let's go around and we'll meet who we've got on the show tonight. My name is Glenn. If this is your first time that you've joined us, what we do is...
Hi, Glenn.
Oh, hello. Now, we go through the news, the weekly tech news that might interest you, because it's interested us. So we've noted it down, and hopefully it'll interest you. Bring it to you in a nice, concise little manner over the course of the following hour, and hopefully you will have some fun along the way and get enlightened. All right, so let's go. Shane, he's on screen first. How you going, Shane?
I'm good, Glenn. How are we, guys?
Yeah, not too bad. Now, Shane, you're from Perth. For those that don't know, what's going on over in Perth?
It's beautiful weather as always.
Oh, that's good.
It's a bit like Queensland weather. You know,
bit chilly.
one day,
bit chilly up here.
next.
All right, so Shane's got his notes all ready to go, and next person up will be. Let's go. Let's pick on Will because it doesn't look like he's ready. How you going, Will?
When am I ever ready? Seriously.
So Will's back with us now. He's gone from Windows 8. No, he's gone from Windows 8.1. He's regressed to 8. Now he's regressed further to 7. He's in regression mode.
Windows 7 to Windows 8 to Windows 8 to Windows 8.1, then back to Windows 7.
Oh, you're on fire.
By the end of the year, he's going to be on DOS 6.22.
That's right.
At the end of next year, 3.2.
I would, except I can't play Minecraft. That's the next thing I'm wrestling. I can't play.
All right, and then as you can see, Jason, better known as Warlock. How you doing, Jace?
Not too bad. How's yourself?
Good. Now, I should have mentioned that Will was from up there, sunny Ipswich somewhere, west of Brisbane. Jason's down there in good old-fashioned Sydney town. And
Diddly.
So is the next guy, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
Gentlemen, how do you do?
Good.
Good.
Yes. What's been going on with you?
Not a lot. Working, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's all good. No complaints.
Good. Now, we've all got some stories tonight, and we might as well just get into them, mate.
By all, you mean not me, but everyone else.
We'll see.
By all, you mean 3 out of 5 of us.
No one would have known.
Yeah.
I put stories in. That's the main thing.
No one would have known.
All the RSS feeds. I don't know if you guys know how we run the show, but basically we have RSS feeds that link to all our news articles and things like that. And with the advent of what was it called? Google Reader going away, we had to come up with other ways of doing it. And needless to say, the program I chose, of course, has completely lost all my feeds. So that was fantastic. So yeah.
Wow.
What did you choose? What program did you choose?
The old Reader. The biggest problem with them is they're growing so quickly because they're so popular that they just can't keep up. I think the feeds are actually there. It just won't load because they've got a statistic on their webpage, and they went from 100 users to basically 10,000 users overnight to 100,000 users by the end of the week.
Right.
So
right.
basically, they just can't keep up with the amount of people using their site.
Well, I went over to Feedly, FEEDLY.com, I think it is, and it serves me good. It's I like it better, and the mobile app is spectacular. I love it. I do like that. So that's really good. It imported before Google Reader closed, imported all those feeds, so I had to do nothing. It was seamless.
Well, that's the problem. I can't get to my feeds because I can't get to the reader, so I can't get to my feeds to update to something else.
Yes, well, anyway, that'll give you something to do over the next couple of days, won't it? Now, I also should mention that every week the live virtual audience joins us in the lounge, and you can do that as well if you so desire. Thursday nights from around 7:30 p.m. and you go to aussietechheads.com.au/live and join in the fun and sit in the lounge, chat in the chat room and all that sort of stuff. And you'll also see some on Thursday nights live. Well, it's not live, but before the show is replays of some other great quality shows, including the Aussie Mac Zone, which goes out Tuesday nights live on the same web URL there, aussietechheads.com.au/live, where we talk about apples and oranges. So if you're into your Apples and your Macs and your iPhones, have a look at that. Otherwise, subscribe to it on iTunes. Get the audio and the video editions. Spectacular. And
You can
also
even see Shane and Eric too.
yeah, you can. No, Shane hasn't been on the Mac Zone, I don't think. But
No, on Night Show, he's here, and so is Eric. We haven't got to introducing them yet.
yes, we have. We've done them all.
Me first.
We've done them all.
How are we doing?
Well, Warlock's in. He's having lapses.
I'm going from what Milo says. We forgot Shane. So.
No, he was first. But
Milo doesn't know where he lives. Don't worry about it.
But and also I've got to say that before the show we've got the replay of Tech Webcast on Info. Great little tech show, comes from Australia as well. And it's also got great interviews each week and different personnel, so it's excellent. But let's kick the show off talking about Shane. Shane, what have you got this week in tech? From the Tom Merritt chronology of tech. Just give us three beauties.
Three of them?
If you can.
I'll go with the Microsoft ones that I had. July 27, 1981, Microsoft bought the rights to QDOS, Quick and Dirty Operating System. Nothing's changed, really.
Nothing has changed at all.
From CD Computer Products for $25,000. July 27, same day, 1993, Microsoft released Windows NT 3.1, completing its attempt to build an advanced 32-bit operating system from scratch. July 28, 1997, Dell announced its entry into the workstation market with the Dell Workstation 400. And I thought I had some other tech-type ones, but I don't. So that's it.
All right, good stuff. Look, I've had a nice little one there. Just from July 29, 1951, a recording was made. Now, this is a lot of people. I've heard of this before. Now, a lot of people say, "Why is a CD the size that it is?" You think, well, does it just come out of the air, or why? Well, apparently, it was a recording in July 29, 1951. A recording was made of Beethoven's Ninth by EMI that eventually became used to justify the diameter of the CD. So there you go. So obviously someone was a Beethoven fan, and they wanted a media that would do that. Oh, who's opened the airplane window?
Somebody's got feedback going on.
The good old airplane. All right, good stuff. Now let's look. I'll start off with a story or so because.
Well, there's one there related to the size of discs.
Yeah. What
Did you say disc?
Say something else then.
Optical discs up to 300 gigs in size.
Oh, what a story!
Woo!
A story.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Sony and Panasonic jointly developing beefy 300 gig optical discs.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah. What's all that one about? That's yours, Jace, is it?
Yeah, Japan's largest consumer electronics competitors, Sony and Panasonic, are joining forces to develop next-generation optical discs that pack 300 gig of data. I know I've got a lot of photos and movies of my daughter from when she was younger, and at the moment it's about 25 gigs just in one lot of it. I couldn't fit that onto any DVDs, floppies. I might fit it onto DVDs or CDs. I might fit it onto one Blu-ray if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But it'd be great if you could get some more robust long-term storage, like a 300 gig disc.
So, would you call discs long-term? Low?
Everything has a degrading shelf life, but I would rather have them put onto something like that than using up space on my hard drive, which is more volatile as well.
You can also get, it depends on the quality of the disc. Remember Kodak bring out their 100-year gold discs. They're designed specifically for long-term storage. Now they are quite expensive, but a cheap 30-cent eBay DVD or CD will degrade within as little as a few weeks. They'll start degrading once they've been sitting out on the table. Usually 12 months is all you'll get out of a cheap disc. But if you do want to do storage on optical media, make sure you buy the lifetime or the 100-year discs. I think Kodak and Verbatim are the main two ones that make those.
Look, when I started,
so long as Kodak stays alive, it's on its way out.
When I started looking for a backup medium, I thought about CDs and good quality DVDs or whatever. And at the end of the day, and Blu-ray, and I thought, well, 50 gig on a Blu-ray, I've got terabytes of stuff. So I just bit the bullet and just went and I've backed up, like, say, to another hard drive. So that was cheaper, worked out cheaper for me.
What's the other thing too? I mean, with the advent of SSDs getting incredibly cheap now, storage has become that thing that's not really, that expensive anymore. So you can buy a 128 gig SSD for, as little as $60 now. And they theoretically don't lose, they won't deteriorate over time.
Yeah.
Plus you could have a Skydrive account, and that's 25 gigs if you were an early adopter there.
Well, speaking of Skydrive, you might not be able to for much longer because they've been forced to change their name.
Lovely segue.
Can you believe that?
I like your work.
So apparently over there in England, now let me get this, earlier this year, High Court Judge Mrs. Justice Asplin ruled that the cloud storage service infringed Sky's trademark. Now that's Sky, probably the B Sky B, the big satellite into London and probably everywhere else over in Europe there, saying that there was a likelihood of confusion to the average consumer. I don't know about that. It's not been revealed what Skydrive's new name will be. This is from Microsoft. But Sky is giving Microsoft a reasonable amount of time to work out its branding after the software company said it wasn't going to appeal. So this is the second sort of back down, I would call it, on a disputed name. Like, remember...
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they're back
down.
They
back down easily, don't they, Microsoft? Is that because a few years ago they were really hammered on that antitrust on the browser, Internet Explorer? Because remember, a year ago, some German supermarket company said, you can't use Metro.
That's right.
So they went, okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
And now they're saying you can't use Sky, and they go, okay.
That's right.
Like, come on.
Microsoft Cloud Storage product.
Yeah, and their naming convention, look, I don't know, they're just hopeless.
Because there's nothing that would suit what they do better than that name. That's a great...
Yeah, I like Skydrive's a good name.
Yeah,
Skydrive. Metro. I loved Metro. That was fantastic.
If it's B-Sky B, which looks like on your logo there, it is Sky TV, Sky News, whatever it is, which is Murdoch's properties. They're in two different fields. But they're not even the same name, number one, and they're even if they were in the same name, they're in two different fields. But one does broadcasting for TV, one does storage.
But would you think?
Look at what happened with Monster Cables. They went around suing everybody: Monster Golf and Monster Shoes and Monster.
Yeah, Monsters Inc.
Anything that had Monster in the name, they were going around saying it's breach of copyright.
But I would have thought.
Didn't they lose that? Did they lose that, Will?
No, because they picked on the small little mother and father companies that couldn't afford to fight it. So they won based on the fact that there wasn't any opposition, not because they were right.
I'd like to see him go after Monsters Inc., which is owned by Disney and Pixar. Yeah, good luck.
Well, I mean, Toys R Us managed to do it with the backwards R, because you had Beds R Us and all these other ones that had the backwards R, and Toys R Us said, no, that's ours, you can't have it, go away.
Well, maybe Microsoft should change their name to Idiots R Us.
Yeah, well, Money Grab Incorporated or something.
No, just Dumbass R Us.
or soft something.
Dumbass.
Soft R Us.
Yeah, so that's quite disturbing. But anyway, well, getting back to this,
what are they going to call it?
Yeah.
Cloud Drive.
Who would know? Cloud Drive? Who would know? But isn't it these companies, these international companies, these big companies, don't they sort of just trademark in every class anyway? Which then would lead to you thinking, well, if they're not using it in that class, surely that's up for appeal.
You're going to lose it. That's right. If you've done this shotgun approach to trademarks, which is something that they really got to stop doing. I'm going to name this name across every possible category, so no one can ever use it.
Yeah.
And then when they do, I just sue the hell out of them.
Well, that's why they've got to change patent law, actually, because you can't have a supermarket in Germany called Metro going against a software manufacturer that says Metro as well. It's just it's dumb.
Yeah, but anyway, looks like things are sort of, the guard is probably changing. Different thoughts are coming out of the Microsoft there over in Redmond. They also are giving their Office over to Android. Now, Office Mobile for Android is now available for download. The app allows Office 365 subscribers basic editing tools for Word, Excel and PowerPoint files, as well as document synchronization. The app is available through the Google Play Store. Is this Microsoft saying that they can't see the future is in Windows? Do you think this is they're trying to now progress to getting their next big cash cow into the across all devices? Meaning,
I think they know they've got to be everywhere.
Yeah,
they've got to be everywhere.
You have to be.
Yeah, because their thing before was they wouldn't go on iOS. They refused because it was, they say, well, we want people to go on the RT. Why do we don't want to make a version for the iOS?
That went well, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah, so I think they missed the lettering of that RT by one. Probably should have. Office came
on the RT for free, and it still didn't help.
No, that's right. So, but anyway, that's happening. And look, I think I might have another little Microsoft one here. I might as well get through them while we're talking about Microsoft. Windows 8.1 Enterprise preview has been released. So, Will, there you go. The Enterprise.
That'll be almost as successful as the first time around. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Many of the features.
Not only will it make your start bar not actually do anything, it'll also completely destroy all data that's stored on the hard drive.
Many of the features have been previously announced but didn't make it to the first 8.1 preview, which we all know and love. Will includes the Windows to Go creator, which lets admins create a Windows 8.1 desktop on a USB drive, as well as App Locker, which restricts which files and apps can run on a device. So, that's pretty good. Windows 8.1 will have the same lifecycle policy as Windows 8, which means the support will start with Windows 8 support is going to start winding down and ending in October 2023. So it's got a bit of a lifespan. And the preview, this Enterprise preview expires next year, 14th of January. Is it 14th of January? Is that their pet day or something? It sounds like
What is that?
I don't know. It must be their
Bill's birthday.
Must be their lucky.
Or Steve's.
Must be their lucky day.
Steve's in August or something.
They couldn't do it on February 14. They just ruined that for everyone.
So
quickly, can we backtrack for a minute?
Yes.
Has anyone downloaded Microsoft Word for iPad or iPhone? Has anyone done that?
Don't have an iPad or an iPhone.
My boss put it on his iPhone.
Yeah. Is this full version or the 365 version?
No, they're just for the iPad version or the iPhone version.
No, I haven't.
I know.
Yeah, there's 365 cloud-only version released by Microsoft.
For the iPad? Is there really?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's on the browser. Of course there is.
Well, they've also got an app that does a bit more integration as well, yeah.
Because I'm trying to look for it here, and I can't find it.
You
get your subscription from their website, and then you download their free app, and then you can access it.
Oh, that's typical complicated. Why can't you just put it on the App Store, do a search for Microsoft, and download the app from there?
That'd be too easy.
Well, Apple won't let you subscribe through the Microsoft app without charging
go to their website, do I?
a third of whatever you buy. So if you buy a year's worth for like $100, Apple gets 33. But if you go to the Microsoft website and get your Skydrive and 365 account for $100, they get $100.
Yeah, because they need the money. Let's face it.
Yeah, well, this is right. Now, I'm just trying to get through these Microsoft stories because I did pull a few out this week. Speaking of retiring software, Microsoft is throwing Windows XP a retirement party. I don't know. They should be trying to get it to a funeral. I think should be.
It's a wake. They call it a wake in our country.
They've been stabbing this thing in the back for how long? Well, they need to kill it right off. But look, I've got a little
that and
graphic somewhere. Oh, please. On April 8, 2014, after many years of service, the time will come for XP to retire, finally, says Microsoft. Microsoft says Windows XP is still running on 37.7% of the world's PCs. There you go. They've put out that little banner. They've also got, if I can...
They're good zombie network for sending out spam and Viagra stuff, hacking computers. They're really good for that. Like distributed computing. It's the best distributed computing network in the world.
It's genius.
So here,
I still use XP on most of my laptops and stuff.
So this is the infographic that they've put out, which goes through different reasons. Someone's
8-year-old daughter designed that. Is that what?
There's a lot of balloons of why you
very colourful.
Of why you want to go to Windows 8. All the apps you want, built for business. Get more at the Windows Store. Reimagines browsing with IE10, cloud connected. Over 250 million people are now signed up to the Skydrive. Well, that's out of date, that infographic right now. And built on a social foundation. Blah blah blah. There it is. All that. And that with two dudes.
I think the problem is there's not that much in the Windows Store yet.
No.
I don't know how you get more there. You get more everywhere else except for the Windows Store.
I find it interesting that I can go through the iOS apps, and talking of iOS apps, don't forget each day there's free, there's paid apps, but they're free for that day. If you want to see what each one is, go to aussietechheads.com.au/. No, it's not, is it? It's facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads. I said that last week. And
Android as well.
And
free Android one.
And the free Android one, normally you would have to pay for it. So jump on board that. Let me just write that down, that address. I'll remember it next week. So hang on. Okay, so do that. But I forget where I was going now. But anyway, apps. That's right. I was going to ask, say you wanted an app to do a certain task, and you jump on the App Store, and it's 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99. But you get that same functionality on a piece of software for Windows or whatever, you're looking at like $30-$40. Why has anyone ever realised this? Why is it?
That's because there's been a race to the bottom for apps, and now anything that mentions the word app has to be around 99 cents, whether it's for Windows or for mobile devices. Yeah. That's the problem, which is why a lot of the games and stuff on your mobile devices are now free to play, but then have in-app purchases, because people will only pay 99 cents for an app, but if they get it free, they'll pay $300 or $400 worth of in-app purchases to buy stuff for the game once they've got it.
Really?
So, yeah. People make millions of dollars out of only in-app purchases. They give their game away free. People just like, I need some extra coins so I can build a prettier house than the guy who's my next door neighbor or my brother or whatever. Let's spend another couple of bucks there. And then next week, he's just bought a lawnmower for his house. I've got to buy that in the game. Yeah. And before you know it, they've spent a few $100s on one game. The Simpsons Tapped Out, is the free Simpsons game, is making millions of dollars just from in-app purchases, but they give it away free. If they charged $5, nobody would buy it. Nope, yeah. $5 for a game? Are you crazy? It's on a little device. I'm not paying $5 for a little game. I'll pay you $60 to $100 in in-app purchases after I got a free game, but I won't pay $5 up front for a full game with everything in it.
And because I downloaded a free slot game, and I thought, let me have a go at one of these things, and so I downloaded it, and you still lose your money. Just as fast as you do at the pub. It's crazy. And then each day, either you buy more coins, obviously, or you wait each day, and or every 4 hours you get an extra 150. But you still lose. I don't know why people bother. I don't know why they bother. What's Shane doing? He hasn't gone to sleep, has he, over there?
No, I'm still with you.
Oh, good. Have you got a story, Shane?
I do. I got a few stories. None of them are really kind of tech related as such. Here's one. I've got a story about the fragmentation of Android, and
how's
the
this?
story goes on to basically say that it got worse in the current year. Android fragmentation has been point of contention for many years, and the latest report from OpenSignal is who's the world's largest source of crowdsourced coverage information, suggests that only gotten worse over the last year, based on the number of and type of devices around the world that have downloaded its app. OpenSignal believes that Android's fragmentation is tripled since last year. And then it goes on to basically it shows the graphic that you've just shown.
Yeah, so that's like looking at that graphic there. It's a mess, isn't it? There's so many different types of Android out there. It's a mess. But
and that doesn't even cover. That's just basically the actual Android version. I don't think it actually covers things like skins and all that kind of stuff that you put over the top.
Yeah, right.
You've got to think too, a lot of that fragmentation is still problem caused by manufacture of handsets, because some of the older versions or the newer versions of Android don't run on certain hardware that's still available and still being made. So part of that fragmentation issue is that there are still viable handsets and viable devices that just don't run on newer versions.
But just have a look at that. Like, that just shows you, like, that big green area there is Samsung. But just look at how many, say, what would you call iterations of Android there are. Like, just within the Samsung brand.
All the different screen sizes.
It's massive. Yeah, but anyway, that's what happens, I suppose. And what do you got with Apple, with iOS? What, you got 2?
Half a dozen.
Not even that.
No, not even that.
iPad mini, iPad 2, iPhones are all the
3GS,
same size.
4, 5 is bigger. iPad.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
About
3GS
nearly
is hardly any. iPhone 4, iPhone 5, iPad mini, iPad. So 4, 5 tops.
Yeah. Does this lead to a lower service, do you think, having so many, like with Android, having so many?
The Android ones scale really well, so it's not really too much you have to do there for the different sizes. I mean, you can improve it for bigger sizes, and there's a lot of ways around it. I mean, most games will be created or developed for one particular screen size, say 480 by 320, and then scale up with different size images and different size text. And then if there's bits at the edge that are going to be left black because it doesn't fit in that ratio, then they can just put extra images down the side to stick on there and cover up the blackness, and it still looks like a really nice app.
Yeah, so there's thousands out there.
Part of the things that's not mentioned there as well is that the Android operating system is very backwards compatible. Like, apart from a few features, there's not a lot of difference in terms of functionality between an older version and a newer version. There's a lot of user friendliness and a lot of streamlining and things like that involved. But in terms of the end result and what the program does, there's really not a huge amount of difference.
Yeah, a lot of developers will target 2.3 gingerbread and up. Yeah. So you're pretty much covered for a long range there.
Now, Eric, did you have any stories, or are you just happy to climb on board as we go through?
I'm happy to listen to the tech news because it's been a while for me. I'm just learning.
Yes,
I'm learning from you learned gentlemen.
Oh, that's good. Jace, have you got any more? What else tweaked your little fancy this week?
Sure, yep. We've got Foxtel is launching an IPTV service. Telstra and News Corp's joint TV subscription company Foxtel has launched a new IPTV subscription service, Foxtel Play, targeting consumers who've been reluctant to sign up for lengthy contracts. So the new service went live on Tuesday. It's got a 7-day free trial. You can watch it on PC, Mac, Xbox 360 and Samsung Smart TV starting from $25 a month. And you can add on some more for $10, $20 or even $50 a month extra if you want to try that. So the premium channel is going to have the movies and Showtime, of course, and the newsroom, Game of Thrones. So if you want to catch up with that sort of stuff, that's the way to go with their IPTV.
So is this saying that
you use it?
I was going to say,
Sorry, I was going to say, can you
go, Shane.
can you use it outside the country?
No.
Probably geo-block it, but then again, we're trying to put in new laws to un-geo-block things. So how's that going to go? You know,
That's not going to go anywhere.
that was another thing that
Because it's not
happened
up to
this
them.
week. Yeah,
It's not up to them. It's up to the licensing, the arrangements between the broadcaster and the seller of the show. The government can't go, oh, we want that G-blocks. Well, you know, go away. We've got an agreement between Turkey and Universal Pictures for this much money.
But it doesn't matter.
They can't interfere with that.
I think they
the
can.
same for software. Yeah,
I think they.
Well, software is a different story because, you know, it's
we've
the same
got geo-block for the software as well as
that
everyone knows.
should be taken down.
From the stories that have been happening over the last couple of years, that for Adobe's Creative Suite, you can get it for a couple of grand in the US. For here, it's like $4.5, and of course, it's actually cheaper to get a plane, fly over to the US, buy a copy there, fly back here, and you'll still have a few $100s spare.
Now this
And,
little
That I agree with. That shouldn't be geo-blocked at all. But when it comes to TV shows, media content, you know, that's a complicated area. There's no way they're going to get around that. But software, it comes from one server or maybe half a dozen servers, and it's the same product. Why are we paying triple?
But it's
all I would say is that because Australia would pay triple, so therefore we'll charge them triple, and if they don't want it, then they don't buy it. But it's like standard software that they have to have these days. Adobe CS6, right. You can't just say, well, go somewhere else and get cheaper one, download GIMP, and away you go. It's not going to work.
Just use text editor, you'll be right.
There are a lot of professional photographers out there who are using GIMP now. They refuse to pay for Adobe. And GIMP has got to the point now where it's much more user-friendly in actual production environments. So Adobe better be careful, because I personally know of half a dozen professional photographers who you would see names in newspapers and magazines, and you know, they do professional work. They use GIMP. They said Adobe is not worth the money. They haven't innovated. They've stood still, and they just don't use it anymore. So
I think that
there's a really good. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think that, remember this little price inquiry that we had, and they invited Apple, Microsoft, and who was the other one? Adobe to the table. They went, you know, the Senator Conroy went, as he was back then, you know, and they're all jumping up and down about the prices and the Australia tax and all this. Well, anyway, why I think we're talking about this is that the report has come back and it's been handed down. The House of Representatives report has come in. Now, the Treasury Department, inside the report, it's about 150 pages. If you want to read the whole report, and I suggest you do, because if you want to waste your time.
There's some homework for you, kids.
Right, but it's 150.
Glenn's read it.
It's taken 12 months. It's 150 pages. And there's a link in the show notes, aussietechheads.com.au/podcast. Navigate to the Aussie Tech Heads show notes there, and you'll find a link, and it'll take you to the thing. Now, Treasury Department reported to the inquiry that the intellectual property laws provide various rights for the protection of economic investment in innovation and creative efforts, to the extent that these rights allow right holders to control the marketing and distribution of goods and services. There is a potential for price discrimination should the rights holder choose to do so. Okay, so that's what the Treasury have decided. Now, the report recommends that the Australian government amend the Copyright Act Section 10.1 or 10.1 anti-circumvention provisions to clarify and secure consumer rights to circumvent technological protection measures that control geographic market segmentation. The report further recommends that the government actively educate consumers about geo-blocking and the techniques used to circumvent it. So
yeah,
basically, they don't know what they're talking about.
Educate you. We're here to tell you that geo-blocking is good for you. Don't try and get around it.
The inquiry...
their recommendation is use a VPN, and we'll teach you how.
Yeah,
and Black
pretty
Spot
much.
or whatever it is.
So does that mean that
they're going about this the wrong way? They've got to go there and negotiate with these people. You can't come out with reports and laws and do the whole heavy-handed, you know, bull in a china shop, beat your chest, 800-pound gorilla crap. Because Microsoft's going to go, well, you know, we're actually worth more than the Australian government. So, you know, go for your life. You've got to go there and you've got to talk sense to these people behind closed doors and not make a public spectacle out of it and try and embarrass them into into a back down because they will not back down. They
We'll
will
just
not
pull
back
our
down.
product out of your country.
That's right. Now we're gonna raise the prices just to piss you off.
And look,
They have no idea how to go about negotiating, these idiots. They really don't.
and I'd go as far as to say, remember that other little inquiry that seems to go nowhere? It's forever ongoing, but seems to go nowhere. Is the petrol inquiry? How many times do we need a petrol
Petrol
inquiry?
watch, grocery watch, keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, and like
They're hopeless. The vision is good. The execution is abysmal.
I don't know what the price of petrol is around Australia, but I know up in my little neck of the woods, I think it was about $1.57 the other day.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah,
I
what's
paid $1.81, mate.
what in Sydney?
$1.81.
Not in Sydney. Like in the city, not like out in the bush somewhere.
Around the corner from me.
$1.81. God.
I paid $1.61.
Yeah, mine was 161.9 last time.
That's out of control.
Yeah, this is about
That's premium, though. That's
I
premium.
was going to say,
Yeah,
I put
mine's E10.
$1.78 for premium because that's
E10
all
I saw for
vehicles.
$1.44 the other day. E10.
Yeah.
And look, you can squarely put the blame on the stupid Woolworths and all their stupid dockets offering 20 cents
Agree.
off.
No,
So-
you can
Yeah,
put the
Woolworths
blame on the
and-
greedy fuel companies, oil companies who just want the price to be there, so they're making exactly how much money they want to make. And if they want to make a few more billion, they'll make the price a few cents dearer.
And the ACCC says, you're very naughty boys, you shouldn't do that, but there's nothing we can do about
But we
it.
don't
so-
have any
Got
teeth, so I'm
got
just
no
going to.
teeth.
We don't actually have any teeth, so I'm just going to gum at you for a bit. Yeah.
So what's happening is then that if this is what the reporter suggested, if the government goes down this track, so then that means VPNing and geo-dodging is quite acceptable. It's not illegal. You can't get fined
Well,
for it.
according
It won't
to them,
be, but they can
but-
block us from the server end, so...
Well, they're going to say it's not illegal to get around it, but the other country's going to say, well, it is illegal.
So who wins?
So nobody.
They do.
Not the consumer.
No,
No.
never do. Never do. Now each week we give away stuff. And this week, it's all thanks to usbonthego.com.au. Now, if you've got an Android device, they do sell Apple charge cords and all that sort of stuff, but particularly looking into the Android devices, if you've got an Android device and you want to pull down some photos in a hurry or something, you can get a cord and a little card reader. Then you can stick into your phone and you can extract. Your phone might have filled up and you need to get those photos off. And you can do that. Put them on a little SD card and then your phone's free to go and snap some more. But usbonthego.com.au got a heap of stuff there. It's all free postage, whatever you're looking at. And each week we give something away, or they give something away. Now, last week they were giving away a humble bundle. Now, this week I think they were offering another one. But can someone check on the Facebook page? Because I'm not sure that anyone actually signed in for that one this week. So
I did see one post, but I don't know who it was from.
all right. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at it, see who that is. But if you want to do something similar and get yourself a cable or a car charger or something like that, I think what we'll do this week is we might do a cable, a UTG cable, on the go OTG cable. So if you want to do that, just jump on, like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads, and just leave a comment on the post, in the post that we put up in relation to USB on the go. So it has to be dated like this week, right? Don't comment on one that was like 6 weeks ago, because we're not looking at those. Comment on the one.
There was one, but I just have to confirm that they haven't previously won. So
All right. So
we'll
we'll
get back to that.
We'll look into that. But so usbonthego.com.au, free postage. Have a look at their site. All the cables are tested. So, you don't get to a stage where like if you're buying them off eBay or somewhere, you go, geez, I hope this one works. Fingers crossed. 6 weeks later, you get it doesn't work. So then you've got to wait another 6 weeks to get another one.
Yep, happens a lot. And I'll tell you what, those cigarette socket adapters.
Yep.
I actually bought a couple of them the other day because my boss needed one, and they're actually more than 1 amp, because he can actually charge his iPad and his iPhone off it at the same time. So
Oh, wow.
they've got plenty of
Oh,
power.
double adapter, is it? Like a double adapter?
No, it's just a single plug, but we've got a double adapter.
A single plug with two things coming off it.
No, it's just a single one, but we've got a cable that splits from a single to a double.
Okay.
And yeah, it is powerful enough to charge both those devices at once. So
So so that's good. That's a good little story there. We also usbonthego.com.au, and also while we're just having a break between stories, don't forget the AussieTechRadio.com. So that's 24/7 wall to wall tech shows. There's what have we got on there? We've got Two Boys Talking Tech. That's right. We've got the Geeksphere.tv from New Zealand. There's heaps of them. There's heaps. The Tech Webcast, the Aussie Mac Zone, the Aussie Tech Head is up there. So there's probably about 7 or 8, 10 shows. Remember Garth? He's still around. He's out there podcasting. We've got to get in touch with Garth. We'll get some more iOS reviews happening. But you can catch up with Garth each Tuesday on that Aussie Mac Zone. And so the Aussie Tech Radio Shoutcast app, 24/7, wall to wall. So new shows every Thursday. I'm working on a way to get new shows as they come. So won't that be great? No more repeats. Ooh, yeah, baby. All right. Who else has got a story? Jace, you got something else for us?
Yeah.
Yo.
Microsoft has asked Google to remove them from the internet.
Okay.
Microsoft appears to ask Google to remove some Microsoft.com pages from their search engine. They've got a company called Leak ID. It's an organization that provides services such as monitoring illegal links and sources and send automated takedown notices to ISPs hosting infringing links and websites. Sent Google notice to stop indexing some pages on the Microsoft site because they infringe Microsoft's copyright.
Oh, jeez.
Google had a look at it, went, yeah, no, I don't think they really want us to do that, and continued to serve the pages anyway. But one of the examples was they had a description of Office 2010 Service Pack 1 in the search result. And so they said, you need to take that down because it's against the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. You've copied some text off our page to display in the link description.
Right.
And please take Microsoft out of Google. So nobody will be able to find them. It's fantastic. Everyone will just Bing it anyway because it's the most popular one. So no problem, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Why would you want to go down that path? Seriously. What, they don't want to be found?
Didn't the University of California or something decide to do that as well? Google said, we've got this thing called robots text. If you don't want a page to appear, just put it in the robots.txt file and we won't look at it. No, it's too hard. Take it off. So they took the entire university out of Google. And then the university complained that nobody could find them.
Hopeless.
Wow.
Now, Shane, it's coming up to Father's Day. You've got a little father story, I believe.
Oh, yes, I do.
That looked like a good one.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. That wasn't the one that I had lined up, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'm a professional.
Yeah.
All right. Dad of the Year builds it twice. Dad of the Year builds functional 737 cockpit in kid's bedroom. Argon is not a pilot by trade. He's a waiter who always wanted to be a pilot. Since 40, a little late, since 40, a little late in life to start the process from scratch, he did the next best thing, methodically ordering parts from the internet and totaling thousands of euros until he had assembled a control panel, screen, and function, and the functions precisely the way the real thing would, like the 737 would. He didn't stop there. He's attaching 5 network monitors to his setup, and he's made it possible to simulate journeys to the destinations as far-flung as Sydney, Rio de Janeiro, and his co-pilots presumably sleep in the bunk beds in the right, which is obviously in the picture.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So has he got like Microsoft Flight Simulator running on his little in the window there? That must be what's going on.
Usually when people do this sort of thing, there's, I think, Flight Sim they use for the scenery, but there's actually other software that they use for the gauges and the controls and all that kind of stuff. One of the, I can't remember the wording word for word, but one of the comments was Dad of the Year hijacks kid's bedroom to pursue his own hobby or something.
Yeah, right. He's probably run out of room in the rest of the house, and it looks like he's just squeezed in there too. But remember Wayne that used to be on the show, used to host with me probably a few years back now. I was talking to him the other day, and he's right into this flight simulating thing as well. And I know Milo, one of our most faithful listeners, he's into the flight simulators, and by all accounts, these things are great. Like, apparently that's dead set serious that you mic up and you do all the stuff, and you got to fly your plane as if you're actually flying the real thing, because
It's only fun though if you're sitting in a nice seat and you've got the controls in front of you. You're trying to play it with a keyboard and a mouse. It's just not right. If you've got the right gear in front of you, the proper, you're attached to your desk here and
like old
you've got the
matey.
controls up and down.
Yeah.
Then that'd work. Now look at all these switches here on this bloke. I'm just watching your graphic here.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. How many of those switches do you reckon works? Does it say on the article?
Probably
No,
none.
I didn't know, but I'd
Well,
say
it does
that
say
a
it
lot of them
functions
are
like
dummy
a
ones.
correct planes, so that means all of them works.
Well,
You should have put
Actually, if
together
you look at
a
it,
fighter
I
pilot
reckon,
one.
if you look at that, I reckon that's 2 mixers back to back.
That's what I was thinking. It looks like a big mixer.
we probably had
Put together should have put together like a fighter jet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would have been ace.
But that's just amazing what he's done there. That's just crazy. Oh, it's a shame he's not a Doctor Who fan. He could have built the TARDIS.
He could be. He could be a Doctor Who. That might be next. He'll put that in his bedroom.
That might be in the other bedroom. That's right.
Bigger on the
Road,
inside.
yeah.
That's probably why he wanted it in his bedroom with that big time rotor and everything. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Will, did you have any stories? Anything that you want to talk about?
I've been browsing through on and off, and to be honest, there's actually nothing that's caught my eye. So
Not much this
yes,
week.
not overly.
Oh, that's no good.
I
Jace.
haven't had a good run with
Yeah, British Prime Minister's internet filters are going to be more than just hardcore pornography. As well as pornography, they may be automatically opted into blocks on violent material, extremist-related content,
Ooh.
anorexia and disorder websites, suicide-related websites, alcohol, and smoking. But the list doesn't stop there. It extends to blocking
what a
web,
nanny state. Can we
web
get rid of the
forums
communists,
and
please? My
esoteric
God.
material.
Yeah.
What a
And
nanny
you know-
state.
You know what's going to be next,
Unbelievable.
don't you? You know what's next? Torrents.
Yeah.
And no, it's next. It's next. Our government's going to go, good idea.
We've
Good
already
idea.
been-
Yeah,
If
let's
you
do
can
that.
do it,
We've already been down that track,
That is
haven't we?
unbelievable. That's just an unbelievable breach of their duties. If someone wants to look at a smoking website, that's their choice.
Yeah.
Geez.
But do you draw the line anywhere, Eric? Do you draw the line at bomb-making sites?
Yeah, yes, you do draw the line at a certain place, but they like anything that is communist, they go too far.
Yeah.
You draw the line at terrorism,
But
bomb
do-
websites.
but do you
like child porn sites, for example. That's just disgraceful stuff.
Yeah.
That's common sense stuff you would block.
But is that something that that this is the thing? It's a slippery slope. You start blocking one site, and to be honest, if you want information on something, you're going to be able to get it regardless whether or not it's officially blocked. So, I mean, at what point do you stop? Do you just say, well, no, hang on, the internet's there. You're capable of searching for whatever you want to look for.
But do you think that this is
Yeah,
just
look, there is a fine balance, and it's not an easy. There's no easy solution to this.
do you think it's just
You cannot go too far.
do you think this is just a way that the commies are trying to get what they want? You know how you just, when you go into negotiations, you ask for the world, and then you negotiate
Yeah, and
down,
then
down,
you get
down.
half of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until they actually get what you're probably
Yeah, you only get
pretty
half.
much.
Oh,
yeah.
so it's their way of communists like censorship. Let's face it. This is their way of slowly censoring what you see. So it's North Korea basically.
well, the software is made by Huawei.
There you go. Oh yeah, you could trust that.
Yeah.
That'll
They
work.
know how to block stuff. They
Oh,
have a
and
lot of
I tell you-
experience.
And I tell you what, and every time someone goes to look for something and it gets blocked, that information doesn't go to the government. Oh no. They don't know what you're doing.
No,
No,
no.
not at all.
Now,
Completely anonymous.
Now, Dick Smith is reimagining his stores. He's turning them into.
Well, he's not, because he hasn't owned them for a long time.
No, he hasn't. Well, whoever owns them now was Woolies, but they got rid of them.
Woolies.
Yeah,
What did they?
No, they got rid of them.
Woolies, yeah.
they got rid of it.
Yeah, last year we got rid of them for was it 20 million or 40 million, Glenn, when they
Yeah.
paid 200
That's
million?
right. I remember
Yeah,
that. They
something
lost
like
a
that.
heap of money on it. I remember that.
Yeah, well,
Dick,
Dick was laughing.
he couldn't care less. Dick Smith is transforming its stores into mini fulfillment centres for internet orders. So there you go.
No, that's actually quite
That's
smart.
a good idea. It's a good
Think
idea.
about it. That is actually quite smart. Someone puts an order in, and it tells you what postcode there are. It goes to the store that's closest to them, and then they pack it up and send it. That's actually quite smart. Because then you don't need a massive warehouse. You've got, 40 Dick Smith stores who can act as just send out packages.
But not even send out. You could probably even go and collect it.
I'll go and collect it, like you do. Telstra does that now. If you order a phone from Telstra, it asks you, do you want it sent out or do you want to go and pick it up? Which store? Every retail outlet has the ability to be a mini fulfillment store.
Yeah. So look, this is.
I just have trouble ordering products from someone named Dick who's trying to give you a full fulfillment.
Now,
fulfill that, Dick.
It's now owned by Anchorage Capital Partners.
Oh, that's much better.
Yes.
Equity firm.
Now they're trying to grow their.
We know that they're gonna flip that in about 2 years and triple their money.
They're trying to grow their e-commerce to 10% of sales. So they're not.
Yeah, why not?
They're not sitting on their hands. Now, recently they've shifted from the Blue Martini e-commerce solution, and they've gone to the Magento e-commerce platform, and Magento, which is owned
Change
by
the
eBay.
colour. That'll fix it.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Now,
That's all that was wrong with it.
We'll
There's
make a
nothing else wrong
tournament.
with it.
Now, Magento, I use that. If someone asks me to set up a shop, I'll use Magento. It does drive you a bit crazy, but look, if you've got a shop and you want to be half decent in doing some e-commerce sales, you got to get on board this Magento. It is probably the most powerful e-commerce solution that I've seen. It just can do anything you wish. It can just anything. You name it, it could probably do it. It is really, really powerful. So if you want an e-commerce solution, you can do it like there's Magento Go, which is hosted on a machine over in the US somewhere. It's not that slow. It's quite okay. And up to I think 1,000 SKUs is about $25 a month. So it's not too bad. Because like when you look at other places like I think it was Shopify, then they're similar monthly pricing, but Shopify also charges you a transaction fee. So you've got the credit card transaction fee, you've got the monthly fee, and then you've got a Shopify fee for doing a transaction. So that's crap. So anyway, have a look at the Magento.
If Magento would like to sponsor Aussie Tech Heads, they can contact Glenn at aussietechheads.com.au.
But their service is crap. So so we won't get a sponsorship out of them. Yeah, you got to do your own homework. But they're good. They're good. Now the new store. This is going back to Dick. The new store features a new decor as the brand tries to reinvent itself in the age of the experience.
That just looks like an Apple store.
Yes. Well, I think they've drawn from Apple, and they've probably also drawn a bit from the Samsung. So
Which who also drew from Apple and Microsoft.
Yeah. Well,
has anyone got any original ideas?
It's the experience.
Actually,
store.
this is all Samsung. You can see the branding up the back there.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what Dick's up to. So good on you. Good on you. Who else has got us?
Keep it up, Dick. That's what I say.
Yes. Who else has got a story that wants to get it out? Anyone else got some?
You got to get it out.
I'll tell you something interesting. These days of customer service pretty much is non-existent anymore. And long story short, I had to order a train ticket for Dad of all things through New South Wales Railway.
Good luck.
And their online stuff was great. Everything worked. There was no problem. And then Dad decided he didn't want to catch the train, so I had to get a cancellation. Now, at 9 o'clock of the night, I rung up New South Wales Rail. I got through to somebody on the second ring. They asked me what the problem was. They sorted the problem out, and we had a refund within under 2 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, it was the most amazing customer service. Actually having somebody answer the phone, not an automated thing, somebody who knew what they were talking about and had the problem sorted and dealt with almost instantly. I mean, it was the most amazing customer service I think I've had in 15 years.
Yeah, right. Oh, good.
And all these, it just goes to show you, all these companies that are putting you on hold for an hour and sending you to a call center overseas, if they just had people who knew what they were doing and answered the phone, they wouldn't have as many people complaining.
Oh, well,
if you hate automated IVRs and they make you want to commit suicide, please press 9 now.
that is selection
hang
9.
up and jump out the window.
I
Well,
hate.
on the upside, with most of them, you can just keep pressing 0 or hash, and it eventually.
I hate the
freaks
ones
out
you
to
have.
someone.
I hate the ones that when you ring Telstra, please tell us what your problem is. And I feel like screaming, "You're my problem, you filthy robotic cow!" But
That's it.
and she says, "I can't understand you. I don't get it."
I don't like
Yeah,
how
She doesn't
Oh,
understand men. That's her problem.
I don't like
Yeah.
I don't like how my selection is always the last one, and they always put the ones you.
Yeah.
They always put the ones you don't want at the start. Like push 1 if you've got a dog in your front yard. Push 2.
That's right.
And then
Yeah.
push
2 if you need your dishwasher fixed.
Yeah. Push 95 if you would like to talk to somebody.
That's right. You know what? There's a shortcut. If you want a shortcut with Telstra, while they're talking in the IVR, press hash and keep your finger on it, and you go straight through to an operator.
Okay, well we have to get on board that. Now look, here's a little
Yeah, a few of them are like
here's a little story that probably should have made it higher up in the list. But Intel ships a cheap open source PC to try. Well, I don't know if it's going to try and rival the Raspberry Pi because it's a little bit dearer, but still, it's Intel. Now, that's how big it is. You can see you can hold it in the palm of a man's hand, and he is.
So it's actually bigger than the Raspberry Pi, but yeah.
I'm glad that didn't follow on from the Dick Smith story, actually. So Intel has launched its first open source PC, $220, atom-powered Minnowboard. That's what it's called, a Minnowboard, produced in partnership with Circuit Co. Now, this Minnowboard features a motherboard fitted with a 1 GHz Atom E640 processor with integrated graphics. It comes with a 1 gig of RAM and 4 MB of flash memory. Supports HDMI and USB, micro SD, and Ethernet. It runs the I don't know how to say that, Angstrom Linux distribution. Never heard of it. There's also the option to add expansion boards dubbed Luas to boost connectivity options or input-output. So there's a bit of a close-up of it, up front, up top and bottom. And it measures 4.2 inches square. So it's tiny. Scott Garman, is it Garman? From Intel's Linux engineer said the PC was ideal for hobbyists, students, and pros making embedded apps. He added the hefty memory would allow developers to make memory-intensive apps involving databases, high-level programming languages, and more. So there we go. Who'd be interested in one of those?
Do they mention anything about the video card?
There's probably about a dozen of those things now. Everybody's putting them out, so there's another one to throw onto the bandwagon.
Yeah, but I think
Notice it doesn't mention anything about graphics capabilities or anything like that.
integrated graphics, but it'd be PUS. Is that what you're saying? Well, HDMI supports HDMI.
Well, yeah, but so does my 5-year-old 2 meg Trident video card. I mean,
Do you reckon it's CGA across HDMI? That might be one.
That'd be excellent, excellent value.
you could play Zork in 1080p.
Yeah, the blocks are smoother.
Would you like to turn left or right? You're standing in front of a forest.
It's getting dark. You'll be eaten by a grue.
At least you can read it.
Now, Shane, have you got any more over there?
Yeah, a few more.
Sitting quiet over there.
What am I going to do next?
Is that yours with the shoes?
I'm going to. Yep.
Yeah, do the shoe.
we'll do
The shoes.
Do the shoes. All right. So an idiot tries to wear handgun-shaped heels through airport security. Considering that we live in an era where possession is too much to sanitize, too much hand. Hang on. I'll try that sentence again in English. Considering we live in an era where the possession of too much hand sanitizer is enough to strike fear in the heart of airport security, you'd think, oh yeah, okay, I see what they mean by that. You'd think that passengers would exercise a little caution when it comes to carry-on items. You know, like leaving the gun-shaped paraphernalia at home. I expected that to be some sort of shoe-related word. That's why I stumbled over it. You'd be wrong. Anyway, it goes on to say that in the past week, one LaGuardia goer, and LaGuardia is an airport in New York, tried to pass through airport security in a pair of pistol-shaped high-heeled shoes.
What a drop
The
kick.
shoes were, and there's a bit of them, the shoes were, of course, totally harmless. And since the unarmed woman
What about the...
surrendered the shoes voluntarily, the TSA officer on duty decided to let it go through without any
What?
question.
So did she have a gun in... She had guns in them, but she got let off.
No,
But
they're
they-
only
they
just
just-
molded
Yeah,
plastic.
they're gun-shaped heels.
Oh, I see. I thought she was hiding guns in them.
No, they're just gun-shaped heels.
I see. I get it. Well, that's
Still
all
a
right.
moron.
Yeah, that's still pretty stupid. But yeah.
I don't
How-
know. I think the TSA needs to go jump, to be honest. They're completely useless, and statistically, they haven't done anything. So, you know.
Now, Jace, you got something there about the cheap iPhones.
Yeah, we've got to have one for Eric, right?
That's
Yeah, go
right.
on.
The Chinese
Thrill me.
website Wayphone.com has published a photo of a large bucket full of plastic iPhone boxes, all of them with iPhone 5C clearly printed on the side.
Is that C for crap?
No, it's
colour?
See,
We always said crap, yes, for colour for the cheap iPhones that are going to come out with lots of different colours. And apparently, it seems the new iPad minis, which may include Retina out later this year, will also have different colour backs. So buy one, all the different colours of the rainbow.
And what's that little Xbox story you got down there, Jace? Xbox One's reportedly launched November 29.
Yeah, they're going to beat PlayStation 4's December 13th debut. So if you're looking for your next generation device, maybe grab your Xbox One before the PlayStations come out, and you'll be first with the next generation console.
Oh,
Or
whoopee
you could
do.
not grab the Xbox One and have and be able to do whatever you want to do with your games.
And and just
Well,
quickly.
they've done a lot of backing down, haven't they, and changing.
Oh yeah,
So it's a lot more like the PlayStation 4 now.
Yeah, true.
And
Only $100 more.
So just quickly, was there any other stories that we had to bring up? I see, Jace, just quickly, this Nexus 7, did we mention that? Getting performance boost with Android 4.3 update?
Yeah, my Nexus 7 got the 4.3 update yesterday, and my HTC One got 4.2 today, which is great. But problem that's been reported with the Nexus 7 from 2012 edition, not the new one, is that over time it would become extremely sluggish, and people were complaining it's too slow to launch the apps, it's too slow to look through it. Well, it turns out there's an application you need for your SSD flash RAM, SSD and flash RAM, called Trim, which will go through and blank out any unused data in the flash or SSD RAM. Unfortunately, this wasn't enabled on the 4.2 for the Nexus 7. You could root the device and install applications that would do it for you, but nobody wants to do that. So 4.3 update, which came out officially yesterday, will now do the trimming, and a lot of people have reported that their Nexus 7 is now going really zippity fast.
Good. Well, that's a good win. Wins all over the
Same
place.
As trim for the SSDs for your computer, for your solid state drives.
Yeah.
It's,
Problem is, I think before it would mark certain data as free space that you could install new things onto, but before, the way the SSD works, it would have to wipe it and then write the new stuff, so it would slow down that way, whereas this will go through as a garbage collection every now and then when it's a bit idle, and start cleaning up those things in the background so that you don't notice, and things become a lot faster.
Yes, and sorry, Will, you had something?
No, you're right.
I was just going to say, just moving off that now, and just quickly before we go, Vodafone launches a $5 global roaming flat rate. So
I like that idea.
yes, it's
Waiting for Telstra to jump on.
Vodafone has launched a new, but I suppose, I'll tell you about this story first before we have a quick comment. But Vodafone has launched a new global roaming offering, which will allow customers to use the same text, data, and calls in their normal plan, but use it overseas for an additional $5 per day. So I guess it's still probably expensive. I don't know if you can you opt in and out day by day?
That's not expensive at all.
Not
for
even.
roaming. It's not. That's
Not
cheap.
for roaming.
But can you opt in like in and out per day? Like if you went from
In and out. Yeah, when you're away, $5 a month. Can come back, take it off.
well $5 a day.
$5 a day. Sorry.
So if you're away a month, it's going to cost you $150.
$150.
Okay.
Better than
Usually
$2,000.
Yeah, if you're going to be away for a month, you would buy a local card more than likely.
Well, it's cheaper than 150. That's right.
Users travelling to the US, UK, and NZ will be able to access the same features in their Australian plan for an extra $5 a day. Any activity over the normal plan limit will be billed and charged at the Australian rate. And Vodafone has been battling a heap, as we know, a heap of defecting or. Well, you have to say defecting because they're going somewhere, but they've been jumping ship, as we've previously said. And last quarter, for the first half of this year, it posted a loss of 551,000 users and 95.8 million. Look, this is a good idea. This could bring people back, especially people going overseas. So, yeah, I think that is a good idea.
Well, the interesting part about using Vodafone overseas is it'll work.
Yeah, and I think that's...
It just won't work in Australia, but it works fine overseas.
Yeah. But I think
what you do is you get a prepaid card in Australia of Vodafone, take it overseas, roam on Vodafone in the UK, which works brilliantly, and you're laughing.
But I think, as you said at the start of that, they're trying to wait till Telstra and all that jump on board. But do you think that the advantage Vodafone has is they own their networks in the UK, US, and NZ?
Well, that's it. I mean, they're part of Orange and all that network. So they've got massive Hutchison's Orange. They've got massive coverage. I mean, they've been around for years. They own their own towers, and they do a lot of work overseas. They suck in Australia, but overseas they're a fantastic provider.
Yes.
Yeah. You're right.
And this is my last one. Has anyone else got anything tonight before we wind down?
No, I'm good.
Crickets. Okay.
We'll let you get the last word in.
I was going to say quickly, not so much tech news per se, but I was just looking around. A mate of mine wanted to set up a home theatre room, and we're looking around at projectors and things like that. And you can now buy LED projectors for under $300 that are every bit as good. He's got a digital projector that's about 4 or 5 year old. And that was a $2,000 projector at the time, and this $300 projector is every bit as clear, as bright. It's every bit as good as this other projector. So it's just amazing, just in that sort of respect. Yes, it's Chinese. Yes, it's a cheap thing, but within 3 or 4 years, the price has dropped from $5,000 to $300, and it's the same sort of technology.
So did you say it was LED?
LED, yeah.
So is that the bulbs last longer?
The bulbs are good for it depends on how bright you've got, but on average brightness, I think there are 5,000. Let me just check. Yep, 50,000 hour lamp life on average brightness.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's heaps.
As opposed to his digital projector, which has got a 2,000 hour bulb, and it's about $150 to replace.
Yeah, true. All right. Well. This is late news that happened today, so I don't have too many details about it. But, because it happened today, we probably won't speak about it again, because by next week there'll be another 100 stories. This one will fall to the bottom, and you would have heard about it anyway. But look, Malcolm Turnbull went head-to-head in a live debate with Alan Kohler. Is that how you pronounce it? Kohler? Now, I've never heard of Alan Kohler. Who is he?
Oh, yeah, he's a commo.
I looked him up. Well, I suppose you have to have a opposing point of view, wouldn't you, to have a debate? So, but I looked. He's a journalist. Is that right? Have we talked? I guess there's only one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a journalist.
Yep. Herald Como journalist.
Right.
His nickname is Coca-Cola.
Yes, it could be too. Now, look. If you want to see the debate, look, it's probably interesting. I wouldn't mind doing it. Has been recorded. You could have watched it live. Too late, it's gone now, but you can watch the recording, and there's a link in the show notes if you so wish. But apparently it was pretty feisty, so that's why it makes it even more interesting. So I'll probably have a look at that.
It's always feisty when the communists are losing. It always gets a bit feisty.
Well, it's apparently it was feisty. So,
yeah. Combos must have been losing.
That's right. They must have been. All right. Well, I think everyone has done all their stories. I can't see any more quickly going through here that we didn't speak about. So we're all good. We're good. Now, Eric, where can people find you, or how they can get in contact with you if they, God forbid, but if they so wish?
Find me. Right here.
What's your address? What's your email? Or your Twitter?
My email is eric@aussietechheads.com.au. Eric with a K.
Yes, and at Twitter, at Eric with a K Franco. Shane, where do people find you to annoy
you?
you?
Can get me on Twitter at Shane1973, Shane with a Y.
And Jace, where do people annoy you at?
The Twitters. Warlock, WAULOK. Okay? Okay.
Okay. And William, are you on the Twitter?
Yeah, Mr. Tompkinson on Twitter, or
He's a
you can
lurker.
email me at will@aussietechheads.com.au.
That's right. And you can annoy me at Aussie Tech Heads, or you can email any one of us at whoever we are at aussietechheads.com.au. So that's an end of another show. Yet another week has flown past, and that was a big show. Heaps of stories in that one. So hopefully you got some benefit out of that. Let us know if you did. Don't forget the Facebook page, like it. Don't forget the Twitter, like it or follow it. And also, if you want some updated news every hour, we'll put 3 if you subscribe or follow the Aussie Tech News at Aussie Tech News on the Twitters. We will put 3 little news stories in your Twitter feed every hour, I think it is, maybe every half hour, whatever it is. But anyway, it doesn't overwhelm you, like some feeds do. They just barge in with 6 million articles every 5 minutes. And also the paper, aussietechheads.com.au/paper. If you want to just jump on your iPad and do that while you're on the train or something, it's brilliant. Not just tech stories, it's full of everything. Entertainment, sports, everything. So it's all collated and put together by the internet fairies. So go and have a look at the paper. So that's all good there. Don't forget the radio at AussieTechRadio.com. I think that's about it. Thanks to the bandwidth provided by Aussie Tech Heads Hosting. Go and check them out at AussieTechHeads.com.au/hosting, and also thanks to USBonthego.com.au. So don't forget the Aussie Mac Zone Tuesday nights live, or just grab the audio or the video via iTunes or the video through YouTube. Same with us, same sort of deal. And we'll see you all next Thursday night if you are wanting to join us in the lounge, or you'll just hear us on your downloads after next Thursday. So cool. So until then, good night, gentlemen, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye for now.
See you guys.
Yeah, bye.